and check on your neighbors, especially the elderly. So now I want to turn this over to FEMA Director Rick Flynn for a further update on the state and local responses. Rick?
Thank you, Governor, and good morning. Again, Governor Wolf is heavily engaged in what we do and always is keeping in contact. And one of the things we did in preparation for the storm is start at 10 o'clock yesterday morning and activated the Commonwealth Response Coordination Center. That gave us time to do the planning efforts and coordination efforts with all of the counties affected. And as the Governor pointed out, our significant concern has been those folks that are still in a disaster survivor mode, if you will, because they've had no power, and that is obviously up in the Northeast and specifically in Pike County. We've been working very closely with them. We said, as the Governor mentioned, plenty of resources. In fact, our state incident management team's up there functioning right now, working with the counties and working to help disaster survivors. But the Commonwealth Response Coordination Center activated yesterday. The PennDOT Area Command came in also at the same time. Then we activated the full Commonwealth Response Coordination Center today with the State Police, the Attorney General's Office, the Civil Air Patrol, the Public Utility Commission, the Department of Health, the American Red Cross, Department of Human Services, Department of Environmental Protection, the Department of Conservation and National Resources, Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, the DDAP agency, as well as PennDOT and Turnpike. And again, you know, I think probably more anything else at this point is one of the things that happens when a storm occurs is that obviously people do heed at times, stay off the roads and such. But then when they get out and then the storm slows down, they believe they can travel, and we don't want that to occur. You know, our concern is the storm's not, our role's not over until everything is back to normal. And so we're going to be engaged here for that event. I will say to you that we have resources available. You know, one of the most valuable resource if you're on a highway and you get stuck is the PA 511 Connect, because that wireless emergency alert will come to you and messages will be able to be sent to you. I encourage you, if that happens, not only be prepared, a go kit in your car, if you will, but be able to get that wireless emergency alert and connect. We were able to connect with over 200 vehicles in this past event and gave them valuable information. But in addition to that, we have the Ready PA is a great resource for preparedness information, and that's www.readypa.gov, and on our Facebook and Twitter. And I mentioned 511 PA Connect is a service that allows two-way communication. So we hope that no one gets in difficult times. As mentioned, our most vulnerable population in the Commonwealth is our elderly. Take care of your neighbors. That's what we ask. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we're all ready to take any questions you might have. Any questions?
In terms of the vehicle bans on the highways, I can probably got that.
Yeah. Secretary Richards?
Sure. We're in direct communication with our neighbors in New York State, and we're working with them to make sure we help commercial vehicles. We have right now full commercial restrictions on 84 and 380, and we have limits on empty trailers as well as double trailers throughout, and we continue to monitor the storm. We're going to take another look, a hard look at noon, and then again at 2 o'clock to see if those restrictions should stay in place. And again, we are coordinating very carefully with New York, because when there are restrictions, trucks will park where they can, and we want to make sure we are ready for that as well. We're working alongside with the Turnpike as well. I'll let Mark update as far as or the restrictions, or I can update the restrictions on the northeastern extension as well. They are following with speed restrictions and as well with the commercial restrictions. Again, we are working together with New York, the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and PennDOT. We are coordinated to make sure we're keeping everyone safe in all the commercial routes as well. We continue to do that. Also, I believe east of Morgantown, those restrictions are in place. Otherwise, the Turnpike is regular regular speeds and regular traffic. We understand economic development and what's important, and we want where it is safe to make sure that the commercial routes can function as they need to today. But obviously, where safety is an issue, we want to make sure that everyone's safe, and where speeds need to be lowered, they're lowered, and to keep the traveling public as safe as possible.
Let me just add, this is, again, a storm that is going to be very volatile. The conditions are going to change, and we're expecting, as bad as things are in some areas already, they're going to get a lot worse at different times during the latter part of the day. So we want to be careful. Anything else?
Are there any concerns right here in central Pennsylvania, obviously in the eastern part of the state? It's looking like they're going to be hit, but right now we're not really seeing much. Anything you want people here in central Pennsylvania to know?
Yeah, I think let's prepare for the worst. And again, we can hope for the best. And this is one of those storms that appears to have moved east, and I think it has. So we might, here in central Pennsylvania, not get as much as we expected, but we're still going to have a storm here. And the same is true here is true everywhere else. If you don't have to travel, don't travel today. You know, take it easy and help our first responders, help the people who are trying to keep our roads open to do their jobs. Yes.
The National Guard, 450 members haven't been activated. They haven't been deployed yet.
They have been deployed. They're on standby, but you want to mention?
Yes, sir. They're in standby in different locations on the eastern part of the state, or eastern 1/3 of the state. 450 personnel, and the type of standby missions they have right now is heavy tow capability and miscellaneous transportation capabilities. We have liaison officers positioned in 9 different county EOCs right now.
What will be some of the criteria for actually deploying?
Depending, that'll be determined when the county has an unmet need. That's when our soldiers will support.
Have you, your forecasters given you any idea as to specifically what areas might bear the brunt of this?
That's based on the the 9 counties that we're in. They're the counties that anticipate the needs.
Which counties are they?
Let's see, Bucks, Montgomery, and I'm going off memory here, Pike, Monroe, Philadelphia, Delaware, and I know that's not all 9, but that's going without my notes.
Let me just add something to that. We can look at the weather forecast, but here's what happens on the roads. You'll have a jackknife tractor trailer, and that could happen anywhere. And then folks in the National Guard, PennDOT, Pennsylvania State Police have to respond as best they can. This storm is complicating those factors because there are going to be sort of micro bursts of snow, and we don't know exactly where they're going to be. There might be times when 2 to 4 inches of snow fall in 1 hour in parts of these highways. And so what we're doing is standing ready, everybody here, to make sure that wherever that happens, wherever the need is, we're doing everything to help. Any other questions? Yes.
So when the forecast changed, why did you not reopen the Capitol this morning?
First of all, I didn't know that the weather forecast had changed dramatically, and there are people who have to commute here from far away. So we were trying to anticipate the needs and the safety requirements of all the folks who work for the state. So an abundance of caution is better than trying to make sure that we do business in the normal way. So our caution may be a little bit overdone today, but I'm glad people are safe. Anything else?
What role did the state meteorologist play in all of this, in all of your planning and operations?
It was central to our planning and continual updates. One of the things, if you notice, you go into the commercial weather services on a day like today, it's hard to actually get on. So this is somebody who works for us and actually could keep us up to date and lets us all know what we need to do to make sure that we're keeping people safe. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much.